So I had my whole plan worked out, and I didn't really trust myself. So I hired a consultant, a very well-respected consultant here in the area, and I took my wines to them and had them taste it. And their feedback was the Grenache is super elegant, like it. It's a lighter, serious red wine. It'll do great. They said Syrah, it's a Syrah, everybody's got a Syrah. It's fine, whatever. And then they said the Mourvèdre, I could pull up the direct quote, but they basically said it's freaking weird. I don't get it. I would not bottle this as a single varietal. And so right after that, my daughter was going to college. She was interviewing colleges, and she had an interview weekend at Lafayette College in Easton, Pennsylvania. And this was right at the beginning of COVID, before we really understood what COVID was. And so we went there, and Kernon is the motto of the Marquis de Lafayette and the college, which means why not? And before I went, I said, I'm going to do one barrel as straight Mourvèdre, and the rest goes in the blend. And after going there and the Kernon and all that, I was all inspired. And so I said, screw the consultants. I'm going to do 2 barrels as a single varietal and just 1 in the blend. So that Mourvèdre won one of the 40 best Washington wines of 2020. And so don't necessarily listen to consultants, which is interesting because it was a first leaf vineyard and a first time winemaker. So pretty unusual.
Yeah.
So then what happened is the Kernon became like, you know, a hot commodity, and so I didn't want. So then the next year, the Mourvèdre, I didn't do it was variably ripe, and I didn't sort it. So there was a bunch of stuff that wasn't as ripe as the other, and so it tasted Mourvèdre-y, but it was very, very light. And so I was like, oh, I can't do it as a straight Mourvèdre because of the brand erosion. I just had this big deal on it. So that's what this wine became. This became an exercise of what do I do with this, right? And so I also did Cinsault and Counois. The Cinsault was interesting. I did 1 barrel of that. I'm sorry, the Counois was interesting. I did 1 barrel of that as a straight Counois. But the Cinsault was red, alcoholic, and acidic. So like all that went into the blend. The Mourvèdre went into the blend. Then it was, you know, how much Syrah do I have to add to make it interesting?
To bring some balance to it, yeah.
And I agonized over it, and it turned out pretty well. The wine did well. I think it's a really good food wine. So,
yeah.